Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more Overwatch news. I hope you guys all enjoy. As always, all of today's stories we're going to talk about will be timestamped down below. This past week has been pretty crazy to say the very least in the Overwatch scene. Of course, we've even had PewDiePie talk about the whole Ellie situation. We broke that down here as well late last week. If you guys do not know about that, well, then you're not a part of the Overwatch community at all. It's crazy to see the amount of breakout around that story, and also we're still going to wait to see if there are going to be any punishments for Punisher for faking to be a girl as a social experiment. Nonetheless, though, besides from that, some other big news out there actually in lore announcements. It was actually Blizzard coming forward a few days ago, early this week, breaking a brand new lore involving Jack Morrison, aka Soldier 76, as an LGBTQ member. It actually comes out as gay in this storyline. If you did not hear about this, it was actually him and Anna having a conversation about a potential past lover known as Vincent, who has now gone on to marry someone else. If you read the full context, I'll link it down below for all of you guys. Of course, it does actually come out now as the second Overwatch hero to be a part of the LGBTQ, and of course, those are both very iconic members, but it does draw the question out there. People have been asking, of course, a little bit of controversy around this, as we see with most Overwatch announcements now. There's definitely two sides to every story. The real question is, though, why did Blizzard decide now to release this? As some people out there say, they make the great point, they're trying to represent an underrepresented portion of the gaming community out there, which I do have to respect. Other people, though, of course, with this timing, right, we've seen many controversial topics around Overwatch right now, especially as we approach Season 2. Towards the end of Overwatch League Season 1, guys, we saw declining viewership. During this offseason, we certainly have seen, at least streaming viewer-wise, some issues there, a lot of in-game bugs. Alongside that, guys, of course, the controversy around community toxicity. The toxicity reports we have seen over the past 2 weeks has been tremendous. 16,000 accounts in Korea alone banned for toxicity. Other bans, of course, across other regions as well. And then very lastly, throughout Contender Series, guys, the Twitch monitoring of the chat. You had to log into your Blizzard account. They can actually monitor what you said in Twitch chat. A lot of controversy, so it does seem if any time is to try and quench or kind of quell all of those issues would be to come out with something like this, right? So did they do it as a publicity stunt, or did they do it because, well, they wanted to represent people out there who seem to be very, very underrepresented in the gaming community? We probably will never know the answer to that. Either way, I would say a lot of people out there either, find this to be a great thing, and if you don't find it to be a great thing, then you probably just, don't really care too much about the update, which is understandable because not everyone is into lore. So I think it's, honestly, a move in the right direction, a great move. One of few games out there actually trying to do things like this, and of course, Soldier 76 alongside now Tracer being a part of that, two very iconic members of the Overwatch community as well as the lore itself. And so it's gonna be cool to see. Whether it was a publicity stunt, we might not ever know, but either way, it did work, because in the past week alone, guys, ever since this lore announcement, Soldier 76 coming out or being revealed as gay, that search term has now been searched over 15 million times. So obviously pretty crazy there. Also on top of that, though, some other updates, guys. Jeff Kaplan did take to an Overwatch stream to discuss the game itself, and here's what he had to say about the current meta and, well, what the community thinks about metas in general.
What's inevitably going to happen is whether the meta changes or not, people will end up not liking the current meta. And I already see that happening. Like, I've seen people say, well, Goats is dead, and now it's just double sniper, and that's going to be terrible. Or, oh, now everybody's just going to play McCree. And at a certain point, I'm like, what the hell do you people want? Just go play Mystery Hero. And
very lastly, in Overwatch news, if you guys have watched these videos before on this channel, we talk a lot about this guy because, well, he's either, being banned from the game, he's either leaving the game, or now, in this case, returning to the game officially right in time for Season 2. So could it be a coincidence that Blizzard may be making some of these big posts and maybe trying to convince streamers like this to come back to the game? He, of course, being a large part of that viewership, like we talked about earlier. Streaming viewership definitely has fallen off throughout this offseason. As we approach Season 2, though, some big hype around Season 2 and how it will hold up in the game altogether. It will be xQc, guys, returning just last night, playing nearly 10 hours of Overwatch, and it does seem he is officially back to start this new season with all of us. Well, now, how long will he last until he's banned again? That's truly a question none of us ever know. But as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy this episode of Overwatch News. Hopefully, we can be back here next week as well to break down some more drama and news for all of you. And until then, I'll see you soon.